I'm sharing my screen with you guys in the Google Meet right now. We're gonna do a bunch of practice today. There should be a PDF uploaded for you guys to see. How's your new classes? Horrible. I don't want you guys sitting. You're supposed to be in an AC.
Yeah. A is for Alex. I'm sitting in AC.
You don't like the new classes?
Well, what?
Just different?
I don't like it because there's not the same people.
Yeah. Because you're not in this bubble of a
Yeah.
Mrs. Walker's homeroom bubble. Or you know the people in your classes now?
Where's Liam? I don't know.
Liam is so weird.
I don't know. I haven't seen him since he went to his birthday.
He just came in.
He did? Yeah. He said he went to me after the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I told my parents to come pick me up so I'm in bed.
Why would you say that? I don't know.
Oh, we can sleep in tomorrow.
What if you were like, no, making somebody's seat, like, that's kind of rude.
Yeah.
Because then it's like a chain reaction.
Watch.
So just be aware. I mean, we can stay there for now, but just like keep in mind that if you're sitting where somebody else sits and they're gonna have to sit where somebody else sits,
I just go.
it's a chain reaction. Now you're taking people out of their space.
Yeah, but it's not a thing.
He's cooking something.
Show us the screen.
He's not in back, he's just in algebra.
Okay. What, Connor, what are you cooking? Yeah.
Aiden wants to know what you're cooking, Connor.
Yeah, he.
For some reason, it's not coming through the Google Meet. Say it again.
Can you show us like the full screen? Fine, say it again.
For some reason, it's not coming through.
I need to try.
Okay. So we are doing a bunch of practice with the formulas that we've been going over. You guys at home, there is a PDF that you can follow along with. If you feel pretty confident, you can kind of just move through at your own pace. We're going to kind of go through this together. So if you feel like you have no idea what you're doing, you can just stay and watch the Google Meet with us. Like I said, I know some of you in here probably feel pretty comfortable. So you are free to just kind of work through this. You guys at home have to turn this in Google Classroom by the end of the day.
What's this?
And I've got rid of 10 minutes. Go ahead, Marty.
I forgot what it was.
Run to the classroom.
You guys don't need your iPads, because I know a lot of you don't like them.
Yeah, I hate. If it were right here.
I can bring my computer.
Okay. So this first page, we do need calculators, so who wants calculator? Anybody? Do you want?
I already have one.
Okay. This first page is pretty easy and pretty straightforward. Going over how to find circumference if you're given two different items. So formula 1 is if we have the diameter. This is what we went through yesterday. You take pi or 3.14 times the diameter. You may only be given the radius. So if you look over here, the radius is 10. So we can't just say 10 times pi. If your radius is 10, what's your diameter? 20. So then you have to make sure you're multiplying by 2 first. So the first 6 are very straightforward, very easy. You're given the diameter. Pay attention to 7 through 10, however, because you're given the radius. So take a minute to answer 1 through 10. Should not take very long. And then we're going around the room. Everyone's going to get an answer for 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at that. Yeah, please get it. Perfect. Yeah, you want this one? Everybody gets 1. Again, not complicated. Very simple. The next page, however, does get more complicated. So either you have your diameter and you multiply it by pi, or you have the radius and you have to find the diameter and then multiply by pi. I have some leaves flying in my classroom. From outside. Is it okay, Jackson?
Yeah.
You know what you're doing? I'll get you the phone.
Can you find the radius?
You don't need another radius. You need the diameter. The number that is directly through the circle. So it's the length directly through the one. Your radius is half of that. What'd you say? About this?
Yes.
Times 5.
Um,
2. Circumference and diameter times 5. But you don't have diameter, so you have to multiply by 2 first.
so that would be 20, then times it by.
Yeah, because you're given the diameter, you're given the whole length across. And you have the whole length across the circle, and then you multiply by 3.14.
Oh.
So, addition?
Jane was listening to the conversation. Yeah. Not why.
Okay, here. We seem to be a little bit stuck, which is okay. Your formula for circumference is to take the diameter and multiply by 3.14. What's the diameter of a circle?
10?
Down here is 10. It's your whole length across. So if my formula is to take the diameter times 3.14, all you have to do is 10 times 3.14. So what's the circumference of circle 1?
31.4.
31.4. So you're doing that same thing, 1 through 6, but then the last set you're given the radius. So you have to figure out what the diameter is first, and then do the same thing. Do you guys know when your computer could be taken?
I already got
Already
mine.
got mine.
You guys all got your battery?
Do you have glasses and get the stick at the front? Yeah, that's correct.
That was why.
Okay.
You have glasses, you get to go to the front of the line?
I don't know why. They just said,
They made
are
a
you
separate
taking
one.
a picture with your glasses on? I said,
I think it's because they have to position you.
Hey, come over.
Where-
I need.
Oh.
But it was stupid. There's one person with me and Liam were in there, and they said they have to be taking their picture. Remember that?
Okay, are we almost done?
Yeah, me and were waiting there, and then he came up there. Glasses.
Okay, well, we'll start going over it. If I pick you and you didn't do it yet, you should know how to do them. Jamie, there's a PDF uploaded, to follow along with what we're doing. Sure. Cause I need one, now that I did the first one, I need one last person anyway. Okay. Huh? I am recording. I don't record using the Google Meet. I have a different app that records both screens instead of the Google Meet screen. But thank you. Jackson, what's number 2?
17.
5 centimeters is your diameter. What'd you do?
I did 5 times 3.4.
3.14.
Oh,
3.14. So that's why. So you were pretty close, but pi is 3.14.
I thought it was 3.4.
I'm just going in order. Unless you have a different question.
I was gonna answer the question.
Yeah, so I'm just going. Okay, you'll get one because there's 9 left, 8 left, so everyone's gonna get one. Margie, what'd you get for number 3? Go ahead, Marty.
I got 47.1.
Perfect, because we're doing 15 times 3.14. Okay, you guys that are coming in late, you are gonna get marked late, but there's a PDF in Google Classroom, open that up, that's what we're working on. Alex, number 4. 5.5 times pi is 1727. Jordan, 5.
75.36.
Perfect. Jaden, what's number 6?
41.44.
Okay, so my numbers are a little bit different. So just to have a conversation about that, depending on if you use 3.14 or the pi button, there's a pi button on the calculators, it might alter your answers a little bit. So if I use the pi button, it might be a little bit different. 41 is pretty close to 40. So a little bit of difference with these problems is okay. Declan, number 7.
15.7.
Perfect, because again, you had to be on the lookout. This was a radius, so multiply that by 2 to get 5, and then 5 times pi. Taylor, number 8.
6.28.
Perfect. Dustin. Number 9. So we can do now. So what are you going to do? So you're given the radius. So if my radius is 5, what's the diameter? Huh? I just can't hear.
I think you said 10.
So radius, you need to know 2 times the radius. So if your radius is 5, what's 2 times that? 10. So then to find the circumference in your calculator, do 10 times 3.14. It's going to give you your answer. $31.4. And then Liam, number 10. 75.36. Again, because you're given the radius, so multiply 12 times 2 to get 24. 24 times pi, 75.36. Just in time. Those are all pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You want to be comfortable with those. When you look at the next one, it's a little bit more complicated. Exactly. We have to find the perimeter of the shape. What's the perimeter mean?
The outside.
The outside. So what do you notice about what this shape might look like? Jackson?
Kind of look like a square.
It kind of looks like a square, so we can start there. So if I want to find the perimeter of just the square part, and right now ignore this curved piece, what's the perimeter of that square part?
25 or 30.
Right, because I have 5 and 5 make 10, plus 10, plus 10. So if I add up all these straight edge sides, we're given 30. That's not the entire perimeter though, because there's a chunk missing. So if I pull out that chunk that's missing, what does it look like? Huh? What's this little corner piece look like? Marty?
Looks like a quarter of a circle.
It looks exactly like a quarter of a circle. So if I build a full circle, or if I look at this, terrible shape, but this is 5 and this is 5. So what do I know so far about that circle? My poor image.
Sorry.
It's okay. What do we know about that circle? What's the 5 stand for?
The side length. The side length.
So it's inside there, but if I look at it now in terms of a circle, because we said that kind of looks like a quarter of a circle. Now if I look at this, what is that 5?
I could say the circumference. I can't say it.
Circumference. No, circumference is the whole distance around.
Oh wait, no, that's the diameter.
Diameter is your whole length.
No, that's the dang it, what's the other one?
What's the other one? Jaden?
Radius.
We know that the radius of the circle is equal to 5.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. You help us, I'll get it.
Sure.
So if I'm looking for the perimeter of the whole shape, and I need to figure out this outside edge, it's asking me to find the circumference. If my radius is 5 and we need to find the circumference, we need to know the diameter. What's the diameter if the radius is 5?
10.
10. So then the circumference is 10 times pi. What's the circumference? Declan?
31.4.
31.4. So then we just have to pay attention because that's the circumference of the whole circle. But how much of it is actually shown here?
A quarter.
A quarter, so what number represents a quarter?
1/4.
1/4. So take your circumference and divide it by 4. What do you get? I think that's it.
Divided by what?
Divide it by 4, because it's a quarter of a circle, like you said, right? So find the whole circumference, divide it by 4 to figure out a fourth of it. Jackson?
7.85.
7.85. So again, not my final answer. My entire perimeter, the straight edge part was 30 plus the 7.85. What's our entire perimeter? Alice?
37.85.
So a lot of these shapes, you have to figure out what portion of a circle it is, find your circumference, and then divide, or technically what happened here is that we had 31.4, and it was a fourth of a circle, so we multiplied it by 4.
I kind of thought that little the circle kind of diagram with that as like a quarter of a pie.
Yep, so that's exactly what you can think of. It's exactly the same thing. Because what kind of shape is pie?
It's like a circle or an oval.
So look at the second one, or look at the next one, I guess, we're not gonna go. We have this shape, what do you notice about what that shape is? It's a half a circle. So, we're building a fence, so that means I need to know the outside edge and the perimeter of this shape. So that curved part, when we're talking about the perimeter of a curved part, that's the circumference. But if it's half of a circle, what would we have to do once we find the circumference?
I was gonna say you could put another half of the circle on that, and that's how you could solve.
Right, we could do that, and that's gonna give us the full circumference. But if my fence is a half of a circle, what would I do once I find the whole circumference?
15 by 2.
Divide your answer by 2. So that's just our plan. So this 15 is our diameter. So if I want to know the circumference, take 15 times pi. What's the circumference of the whole circle? Aiden?
45.1.
47.1. So that's if my whole garden that I was making was a whole circle. But again, it's not. It's a half circle. So if I take half of this, what do we have? 23.55. So now keep in mind that I'm building a fence to keep animals in. So I don't just want to pick the curved part and leave it open here, because then everything's going to escape. So if this whole piece is 23.55, I have 15 feet of fencing to still add in. So add in your straight length, how much total fencing?
Sorry,
23.55 plus 15, Jackson?
38.55.
So you figure out how much of a circle you have, divide your circumference by whatever that is, and then add in any straight parts. The last one I'm gonna do with you is the next part. What does that shape look like? Circle. That's 3/4 of a circle. So again, when we're talking about finding the perimeter, you find the circumference and then figure out how much you have. So we have 3/4 of a circle. So once I find the circumference, we're gonna end up multiplying it by 3/4. To make it easier, do we know what 3/4 is as a decimal?
0.75.
Jaden?
0.75.
So if we don't wanna do 3/4, we can multiply our final answer by 0.75. 5 is my radius. So then again, a lot of these are the same numbers, so we should be doing better here. What's the diameter? No, I'm not saying anything, I'm saying, I'm prepping us for this,
Okay,
to be able to answer this. My radius is 5, what's the diameter? Dustin? Oh, the radius is 5, all I want right now is the diameter. 10. So then circumference is diameter times pi. Again, we've done this probably, we've done that multiplication probably 3 times today. Because the numbers just keep ending up being the same. So what's pi times 10? Jan? 31.4. So again, that's the whole entire circumference. But going back to what we said, what Dustin said, that was 3/4 of it. So to figure out 3/4 of 31.4, multiply by 3/4, which is just 0.75. What do you got? Jackson?
23.55.
So the outside circumference is 23.55. So it ends up just working out that we're almost the same here. But again, keep in mind that that is only your curved part. If I'm building a pen or like a gate to keep animals in, I can't leave this part open because then everything's gonna escape. So let me erase this so we can see. So if this length is 5, what does that length also have to be? 5. So how many feet do I add to my curved part? Look at that. So then how much fence do we need?
33.55.
Make sense?
Yep.
Finish up just that last question. I don't need us to do the very back. The very back is more complicated. Some of you didn't do your practice problems yesterday.
How? We had so many.
These are things that I will never know the answer to.
Ever.
So, my point is that just finish up these two problems. We'll go over it at the end. You first need to figure out the perimeter of each shape. But then down here, it says fencing costs $5 per foot. So how much is it gonna cost you to build each pen? And then with the time left over, we can do the practice problems from yesterday because there's only 5 problems.
Can I start my pencil?
I got any questions to talk about.
Okay, that's all different. This has nothing to do with the other part. Yeah, so like this is one problem, this is There's just 2 different problems. We want to build, I can't decide between 2 different shaped fences. This is a full circle, so find the perimeter. $5 per foot, how much would it cost? Find the perimeter, $5 per foot, how much would it cost?
That's all right.
What'd you get?
560 for the
Hold on. I didn't have a check for it today. No. But it doesn't right. But I can see what you just I am gonna go over it, so you'll be able to actually mistake. But I'll be good. But it's not that much money. Although building houses is expensive. Define circumference. You already. You can. So everything else you did was right, because it actually did this. Yeah, so that's right, so just change it. This is the radius. You have more on that. You just want all. Like that. So that 45 is your perimeter. Same with that.
Oh, I got it.
So you're good.
245. Wait, let me have a
You're gonna go down to the gym.
Oh, no.
I don't know,
Yeah, I can
but
show
once you
you.
get down to the gym, you'll see where it is.
I can
Which
show
gym
you.
is it?
It's right next to the
It's
music.
Okay, well, what? Jimmy.
I can show her.
Jimmy, you know what that is? No. I don't know what's under this.
I can show her.
Okay, again, same issue we just had. You're all shouting at the same time.
I
No
can
one is
show her.
seeing her down. It's okay. Is it, so when you go down the steps, is it the first gym or is it the one closest to the door outside?
Gotta go all the way down. You gotta
So-
go all the way down to where the auditorium is and stuff. Go down.
So,
Past
you
it.
use it, you wanna use it, I'm sorry. You go down this stairwell, all the way down 2 flights. You're gonna see a gym, don't go into that gym, keep walking down past it.
And then you'll see it.
And it's
You'll
an
definitely
open
see
red
it.
ball.
There's gonna be so many people down there.
It's an open red ball.
They're gonna be helping you.
Thanks, cause I never actually know which gym is which. And I feel bad when I can answer questions. So gym A is the first gym you see down the steps, gym B is the one closest to the exit.
This question's right.
I'm about to go over it. No, wait, what'd you say?
Oh. See ya.
Okay, we'll go over it. You know when you have to go down the gate. Okay, so you need to find your perimeter for number 1. What is the 14.5? A diameter or a radius?
Radius. I mean diameter.
Diameter is the bigger measurement,
I
it's your
think they're-
bigger word. It's
Sorry,
okay.
I think the next.
Okay. Diameter equals 14.5. So circumference is 3.14 times 14.5, which is what? Aiden?
45, 153.
Oh, what's happening all of a sudden? What the heck? 45 point what?
53.
53. So that's how much fence I would need. If it's $5 per foot, how do you figure out how much you're gonna pay for 45 feet? Marty?
Multiply.
So what's 4553 times 5? Where we go? 4553 times 5 is how much? Check one.
227.65.
$227.65.
Yeah, I got that.
We're gonna do the same thing over here, it's just an ugly shape. So we have the radius, so then if my radius is 7, what's the diameter? 14. So then take 14 times pi, and what does our circumference end at? That would be, that one?
43.96.
So that's the whole circumference. How much of the circumference do we actually have in this shape?
42.
How much of a circle is it? Or what fraction of a circle? 3/4. So if I need to find 3/4 of 4396, multiply by 3/4, which is the decimal, it's easier for you. What is that? 4396 times 0.75. I don't know either. I can do that in my head. 4396 times 0.75.
43.
32.97. Something close? So that is your circumference, and then how much do I have to add to it to close in the rest of the fence? 14, because I have 2 7-foot diameters. So what do we get when we add that? 46.97 at $5 a foot means times 5. What's the final answer?
2. 200, 219 minutes.
Just shouldn't be. Check it again. 4697 times 5.
Oh, times 5, my bad.
Okay, Aiden was good.
234.89.
So if I was actually building these fences, which one makes more sense to build?
Option number 1.
Probably option number 1 because it's cheaper. We got into a conversation in period 2 though. Someone said, well, if it's cheaper, the product might not be as good. So then maybe you would want the more expensive one. So it kind of depends on what you want to do.
It's only like 5.
Right, so then it's only like $7, so if it's only a $7 difference, maybe I would wanna pay for a better quality and only $7 more expensive. All didn't think that you would do that. Okay, so you do not have to answer that last page. You guys leave this packet on your table. You guys at home can turn this into Google Classroom. There are 2 assignments, or there's like 2 different things posted on Google Classroom for everybody at home. You either do not have to sign in because you got that message, or you are signing in because you owe me some work. Both assignments though, there is a different task for you to complete. Okay, so some of you read through that. If you don't have to sign in, you don't have to sign in, just do the attached assignment. If you got the assignment that said you need to check in with me, then you need to check in with me, get caught up on the work that you're missing, and move into the new work. That just leave on your desks. You guys don't have to turn this in, you don't have to do anything. If you wanna turn it in Google Classroom to get it just out of your like feed thing, you can. But I'm just gonna take your paper and give you the password. You guys also have 10 more minutes, so practice problems.
I already
Take
did
out
it.
your iPad. There's 4 questions. It's literally 4 questions. Here's the deal. This is the first day of the new 9 weeks. So that means if you didn't have the homework yesterday, you already have a 0%.
I already did the homework from yesterday.
Right.
Wait, is this the homework for today that you're saying, or the homework from yesterday?
You guys don't have.
You don't grade me if I get them right.
There was only time.
I'm done.
Okay, listen to me instead of asking so many questions. The only thing that in here you need to worry about right now is if you did not do the homework yesterday.
Nope, I
If
didn't.
you did the homework yesterday, then you just have 10 minutes to hang out here.
Yeah.
When we come back to the period, we're gonna work on those projects that we started yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
We play Among Us.
No.
No. What?
No,
We have enough time for that.
okay.
Yeah.
But if you didn't do the homework yesterday, you're already at 0%, which is absurd because it's 4 questions.
Fourth question, they're actually
You
not
get
that hard
graded if
either.
they're right.
If I can tell that you just clicked a bunch of stuff and didn't think about anything, then no, you're not gonna get any credit. But it doesn't take much time to think about the answer for 4 problems.
Wait, so you wait now to do the practice rounds?
If you do them yesterday, so that's all you have to do. When you guys come back to the period, there's not enough, we're gonna do the problem.
So we don't have to do the practice.
It's a literal homework that said that there is.
It says they're posted.
Do you use your classwork section or do you just look at everything in insurance? Okay, that should kind of make it like easy. It's just open up your classroom.
This is like so hard how it is.
Click on this. This is one. This is all organized by day. So you still have November 10th, Tuesday. That's all we did. So did you participate in the live lesson today?
No.
Were you in class? Yeah. So then that's all that's posted, that's all you have to worry about. Monday, live lesson, practice problems. You click on that so you can kind of see easier what you've done. All by day, instead of seeing everything.
Should I just give you
The package, just leave on your desk. Those of you that are at home, submit it in.
Are you gonna like take them?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to tell you guys, Alyssa. If you're done with this and you understand what you're doing for 10th period, then you can sign out. Again, those of you at home, 2 different options. Either you're not signing in because you don't owe me anything, or you are signing in because you owe me.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote my